What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sniper TV. Hey, so I just got back from the Bob Marley movie, so this is an out of the theater reaction, so to speak. Well, actually, I done made it all the way home, so it ain't really out of the theater. Anywho, the movie wasn't bad. It wasn't necessarily a good movie, but it wasn't bad. It was not a musical as they were advertising it to be. It was definitely a movie with his music in it, and they played some of his more popular songs. There was only like two that I didn't know, so I was rocking and jamming the whole way. Like I said, I didn't know much about his life, but this did give me a little bit of insight into it. This was a critical time when Jamaica got its independence from British, and they had two political opponents that were creating a civil war within the community. And this is a time period in which he decided he wanted to try to bring some unity to the people, and he did a concert. Well, they didn't want him to do this concert, and they felt that he was picking the political side to do this concert, and they tried to assassinate him. Well, he took off. He left and went to London, for his safety. He sent his family to America for their safety. So the connection to his notoriety worldwide was very astounding to me. Because I'm thinking he in Jamaica making all these moves this whole time, and he wasn't. He was in London, living his life but still creating music. Okay, he changed the sound just a tad bit, added a little bit of rock and roll as far as the bass line of his guitars into his music, and he came out worldwide. And what they showed us in the theaters was he was basically doing his music and growing and blowing up in front of white audiences. He was supposed to do a tour in America. I don't think he ever did that tour. Well, they didn't mention it, that he did that tour. They spoke a little bit about his infidelities, and at the same time they spoke about Rita's infidelity. At the same time, I saw a lot of people talking about they didn't address her infidelity, but they wanted to talk about his. They talked about both of it, and they did it in the same conversation. They hinted towards one particular woman outside of the relationship because they kept showing her in the background, but other than that, they talked on it as much as they talked about hers. It was mainly about the message in his music and him understanding what it meant to be a Rastafari, and how that translated into his music. It talked a little bit about his writing process and where it came from, and it was a gift from God, so to speak. I for somebody who don't know much about his actual past and his life, I did not have a problem with the progression of the movie. They did enough flashbacks for me as a kid that I was satisfied with that. His upbringing, his mama left him, his daddy left him, you know what I'm saying? They did enough flashbacks for that for me. And like I say, it's basically, to me, this whole movie was just really about his message and what it meant for him to be a Rastafari. Because even in the end of the movie, we saw his father running away the whole time through the movie. He kept flashbacking to the scene. But at the end of the movie, a man appeared, and you think it's his father because he was dressed like his father. It was the same scene, same setting, and it turned out to be King Selassie riding on the horse, because he gave him the Ethiopian ring that he was gifted to in the movie. There were some things that was inconsistent, and it had nothing to do with my understanding of who he was as a person. It had nothing to do with my lack of knowledge of, his personal story. It was the story itself. His boy Dan, the one that took 6 bullets for him, jumped in front of him, basically saved his life and took 6 bullets. I was like, oh boy, deserved that money. He was supposed to have been stealing from him as his manager. I was like, he took 2 bullets for him. He deserved that money. He ended up taking 6 bullets for him, child. And his whole thing, Bob Marley's whole thing was, it wasn't about the money anyway. So the fact that he found out this guy took money from him, throughout his career, why it hit so hard, I guess, just because it was a friend that was betrayed him and lying to him, so to speak. But I'm like, he deserved that money, child. He deserved that money. I thought the acting was really good. Oh, we had a problem with his locks. Not how they looked, but the fact that the bitches didn't grow until the last year of the movie. Because we was like, his hair ain't grew at all. Tiny things we was picking out, child. Tiny things we was picking out. When he returned back to Jamaica for the second concert, I noticed that there was not a single Jamaican flag at the airport. Not one. The Jamaican people were supposed to go crazy, but I'm assuming the only people that showed up at the airport to welcome him back in was the Rastafaris, because that's the only flag that I noticed. Because it wasn't a Jamaican flag there. Not at all. I believe there was a Rastafari flag. If y'all or Rastafaris or y'all Jamaicans, y'all know for sure. Y'all let me know down in the comment section. But I could have sworn that was a Rastafari flag, not a Jamaican. There was not a single Jamaican flag. And for what I did know about his life, it was almost like a Martin Luther King type of situation. I remember they thought he was a communist. I remember that a lot of the Jamaicans didn't like him because he was half white. They called him a half caste. You know what I'm saying? Half breed. That's what I remember, growing up in my life. But other than that, the guy who played him, he played in One Night in Miami as Malcolm X. I loved him in that role. It was my first time seeing him. I liked him in this role too. I thought they did very good in the roles. You can kind of tell who was putting on the patois or putting on the dialect when they were speaking and who wasn't. My boy from Top Boy, he was in it. His wig was straight out of a Tyler Perry closet. His wig, his little dreadlock twisties was straight out of Tyler Perry's closet. But yeah, they could have worked on that one a little bit more. The fact that he came onto that property at the end, a guarded, secluded property, and came in to speak to him and apologize to him, I was trying to figure out how did this man get in the property? I saw how he got in the first time because they shot the dude who was guarding the gate. But how he get in this time, we're able to walk up in that damn house a second time to offer apology. I don't know if that was Bob Marley dreaming or if the guy really, really did come in. It's possible he really didn't come in, but this was what he was. It was a dream he was having because he said he saw visions before. Just how Marcus Garvey saw visions and stuff like that. He said he saw visions. Let's see. I thought I saw something that Ziggy Marley was saying that Kingsley, the actor who played his father, really captured the spirit of Bob Marley, captured the spirit of his dad. He was able to convey the emotion that he wanted to be conveyed. To me, and maybe because maybe he took inspiration from Bob Marley himself, but to me, Kingsley reminded me more of Lenny Kravitz than of Bob Marley, as far as like his mannerisms on stage. Even though he did capture some of them, but he got more into the Lenny Kravitz to me. He could play Lenny Kravitz too as well. But I would recommend people go see the movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't believe it should be. It's been holding number one at the box office for such a long time. As far as the context of the movie, I don't see how it's matching that. However, if you're a lover of music, lover of reggae, lover of just Bob Marley, West Indian, whatever, I recommend you to go watch this movie. Like I said, it wasn't a waste of my time. And like I said, it wasn't a musical. Y'all know how I feel about musicals on big screen. I will go watch a musical in the theater, but I don't want to see a musical on big screen, which is why I didn't see Color Purple. Except for The Wiz. I like The Wiz, child. Anywho. But yeah, other than that, there was some other points that me and my daughter talked about on the way home. The cancer situation. It made it seem like he had cancer all along. He knew all along. I know there's stories out there that the government supposedly put the cancer in his body in order for him to die. And my daughter pointed out it wouldn't make sense. And it wouldn't make sense just for the simple fact that when he did get shot in the movie, his wounds healed. And that was one of the ways they were able to detect the cancer from his injury that he had, is because the wound never healed. So, yeah, let's go dispel that conspiracy theory there. The man he had it going through his body. And I believe he knew it for a long, long time. And there was my dog is out there in the backyard acting crazy. Okay, so yeah, go see the movie, child. Just go see it while it's still in theaters. Have a good one. Peace.